This episode is sponsored by AutoTrader. There's a good chance you're driving right now. Look around. Safely. What do you see? Cars. Lots of them. And guess what? They're probably on AutoTrader. Whether you're into timeless classics or the latest trends. Did somebody say solar-powered, eco-friendly, vegan, leather-wrapped, aromatherapy-scented, disco ball-equipped, self-driving car? If you see it on the road, you can likely find it on AutoTrader. Big cars, small cars, blue cars, new cars, used cars, electric cars, and one day, maybe even flying cars. With millions to choose from, buying a car becomes a whole lot easier. See it, find it, AutoTrader. Find your next car on autotrader.com.
Hey everyone, welcome to Criminality Podcast, the show we started because we love true crime, we love reality TV. They often go hand in hand. Melissa, take my hand. Let's get through this together.
Take your hand into the fire. These are not like good combinations for these people. They're all a mess. I love it.
As per usual, we're in like a storm of news and scandals. Like they're like New Jersey.
A storm's bedore.
Well, a lot of it is. A lot of it is centered around her and Johnny J, who's been rebranded. Mm-hmm.
He wishes.
Should we tell everyone now we're recording on a Sunday morning, which is not normal for us?
Sure.
And that we might say things like rebranded.
That's the new winsome.
Yeah, rebranded as the new winsome. There's just so much going on, but has there been a favorite thing like in the news, like something you saw that you're like, this is just so good, like Bravo related?
I know something so bad. I don't need to sound negative.
No, that's fine. That works.
But I read, I don't know if it's true, but I read that with Jax in rehab that Shayna and Lala are going to be on the Valley.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, I could probably give a pass for Sheena, who I think is just somehow built for the Valley. Like, if we'd never met her in West Hollywood, I'd have no problem accepting her there. But Lala and the Valley feels like just something apocalyptic is going to happen. Not in even an enjoyable TV way.
Exactly. We're going to have to go to her baby shower. We're going to have to go to... There's just... No.
And you know what the worst part of it will probably be? Is that she'll be proving herself and how cool and like not Valley-ish she is.
Ugh.
And that's going to be the worst part.
And that they had to bring them in to like save the show since Jax isn't there.
Right.
It's all like that for me. Like,
yes.
I don't want it.
No, because,
I don't want it.
Because that show left. I mean, they say leave with people wanting more, and boy, did they. We didn't even get a reunion. We all were raging about it. We don't need them to come in and save it. They did great on their own for a first season.
Yes. For a first season where no one wanted to watch it.
No one.
When everyone saw that first preview with all the kids, everyone was
and
like...
And the little toy car and like Jax pushing a lawnmower. Nothing we needed. And yet, sometimes we don't know what we need.
More often than not. Yeah. I find that every day.
Yeah.
I'm getting things I did not need or deserve in some ways. Yeah. Rebekah, what news thing has tickled your fancy?
You'd think I'd have one given I asked the question, but did you see the cameo of a past subject of Criminality episode?
Oh, yes, Elizabeth Vargas.
Wasn't that so unexpected?
I was kind of... It really was. And she was a hot mess in the entire thing.
It's like she was doing so much to be in the scene, but they didn't even let her stay the night at her own house.
No, they were like, "Hi, Elizabeth. Thanks for letting us use your moldy cutting board." GTFO.
So, what are you thinking giving that property listing to Ms. Gina?
Oh my gosh, I know. I'm like, Gina, she gives you that, but the DeBros don't. Which one here is your friend? It's obviously Elizabeth. Why are you barking up old DeBro's butt?
I know this was just so unexpected, but it was fun. It was just kind of fun to be like, oh, they're at Elizabeth Vargas's house, and I didn't know we were going to see her, and I just was like, did it like a whoa. That was fun.
Here's a pullback from the true crime episode, or the episode we did. Remember, right around before she was kidnapped by her boyfriend or whatever, held hostage. Was it in that house?
Oh, in La Quinta? Yeah, because it's his. Did she get it in the divorce? Or was it theirs?
Oh, that's a good question. I thought
well, she seems to have some ownership of it if she's listing it. But yeah, you might be right. In the desert. That might have been her house in the desert, which is very scary. Much scarier than being held hostage in like Newport Beach.
Yeah. I don't know if we consider it a historical landmark. Well, no, it's a crime scene. Oh, they stayed at a crime scene.
See,
I'm making things up.
But that would have been fun to explore it a little more. Also, I was at a wedding last weekend in the Hamptons, and I was really hitting it off with one of the family members of the bride who lives in Costa Mesa, Newport Beach area, Orange County.
Ooh, okay.
And I asked, does she see Housewives in the Wild? And she said probably, but she wouldn't know because she doesn't watch. And I'm like, useless. And then she said, but all her friends know. And that when they're out, they're often going like, look, there's whoever.
And she can't even remember, right? No. Because, oh my gosh.
And I'm like, were they blonde? Did they have big boobs? Yeah. And then we laughed because that's everyone except her. And she's like, that's why I don't know, because I'm not like accepted in that world. Anyway, was very fun, but then it wasn't because she doesn't know. Lots of OC news, lots of Jersey news because
oh my gosh,
of the non-reunion reunion off the rails. So is now a good time to start the episode?
Let's do it.
Okay, because it might be related.
Oh, you don't say. Thank you on Instagram to whoever guessed it. And I was like, finally. It like all made sense.
What were the clues? Purple, Vanessa. I don't even remember my third clue.
Pizza.
Okay, perfect. Because it was hard to get you, and it's hard to talk about Real Housewives of New Jersey and not, I don't know. I had to think outside the box, but our listeners were on it.
The pizza box.
Yes. Oh, we're going to get into the pizza of it all. But before we kind of get into New Jersey, the story's going to start in New York. Who knew? Here we go. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
On May 17th, 2021, a 47-year-old woman from Rockland County, New York, set out to run 285 miles over the span of 2 weeks from Oswego, New York, which is way upstate, all the way down to New York City, where I sit right now, which is weird. But is it newsworthy, Melissa?
If I did it, it would be. I would expect it to be everywhere, but maybe not.
For me too, because I would die, and hopefully they would cover it. Well, this woman, Vanessa Reiser, caught the attention of local news stations and even a few national outlets like People Magazine and the New York Post, because she wasn't just running for the sake of running like some absolutely insane people do. She was running to raise money to support victims of narcissistic domestic abuse. And when she ran, she did so in white running leggings and her deconstructed wedding dress and veil as a symbol of something she says is called future faking. Have you ever heard of that?
I have not.
Okay.
I'm already thrilled by this. Go ahead.
So this is a term she uses. I don't know if she coined it or if it's an actual term to describe a tactic that narcissists use to control their victims. In her case, she said a wedding and marriage were leveraged as ways to keep her in a toxic and abusive relationship with, according to her, a diagnosed narcissist and sociopath. So it was kind of like, we'll get married. We'll have, like, so you get the engagement.
Right.
It's just, I mean, I think a lot of men do that. I don't know. Future faking is a nice term. I guess it's like,
I thought, is it like the secreting, but the other person is doing all the...
Ooh, that's very meta.
No, because it's like gaslighting too.
It's gaslighting, but it also just sounds like something men do that I don't even know is so like, she's like pathological as it is just kind of like, yeah. Like, we'll get married. Like, I don't know. Isn't that like common? So about the same time as Vanessa's race, season 11 of Real Housewives of New Jersey was being aired. And well, Melissa, that was not a coincidence. One thing we're going to learn today is that Vanessa Reiser isn't a stupid person. Because the ex-fiance of Vanessa Reiser was the aforementioned diagnosed narcissist and sociopath, according to her. And we were about to meet him as the new love of Teresa Giudice's life. Enter Louis Ruelas. It's a lot.
Okay, when we met him, did you have any initial thoughts on him? I'm sure that was probably a question for me, but like, I'm curious what you thought when you first saw him.
I think I actually gave him the benefit of the doubt for like,
I know you did,
an episode, and it quickly turned and makes me feel like I'm not the judge of character I had hoped I was or thought I was. What about you?
I trust no one. So I went into it I don't like this guy. And then he has to prove for me to like him.
Yeah.
And it never happened. And it only got worse. It worked out well for me.
I need to start with that.
It's kind of a negative way to go through life, but
the thing is,
I'm rarely wrong.
Right now, at least with men, you're rarely wrong. Exactly. That means you have like a 95% like batting average. Look at me giving sports analogies. Okay. So yes, Louis, we're going to talk so much about him because that's what this episode is about. He was the new boyfriend, then fiance, now husband of Teresa. But I think we all know, we maybe met him officially on the show, but we can agree he's best known for his work on a spiritual retreat he went on where he recorded a video that he sent to his ex, that was Vanessa, by the way, that someone leaked and went viral. Now, a lot will be made of this video on and off the show, but right. I think we need to just hear a clip of it to refresh our memory.
To see you, to get engaged or bring our family together and finally get married and have a life together. I've been here for a week. These are my brothers. These are my bond. These are my brothers. This is my coach, Kevin. These are guys that are very unfamiliar in my life. I love you, and I love our family together. I love our children, and I hope you receive this message well. Thank you. I love you. Thank you for your time. I hope that this hits your heart well, and you understand where I'm coming from, and I hope to come home to you and be able to have a chance and opportunity to talk to you and share with you my experience in my life.
You gotta talk from the heart. You go back to your brain. She doesn't want to hear your brain.
I love you. I'm sorry I made mistakes and held myself back and held my truth inside.
You better fucking
and
feel
worried
her pain.
worried about other people around me.
Feel her
acknowledgement. I feel your pain. I'm sorry I put you through pain. Thank you for being patient with me and seeing the man that I didn't see that you see and you saw in me.
What are you gonna do about it?
I'm going to fix this. I'm going to come home and show you and prove to you the man, the best version of myself that I am right now.
She heard that before. What are you going to do?
I'm going to take action as soon as I get home.
You're saying beautiful words. What are you going to do?
I'm going to propose to you and get married, if that's okay with you. I love you.
Is it weirder or less weird than you remember?
It's way weirder than I remember. Can I tell you, I don't know that I ever actually watched, I know I didn't watch the whole video, but I saw like 2 or 3 second clips. But the aggression with him like coming closer to the camera for no reason, I moved away from my screen.
But I never realized that there was someone coaching him from behind the camera. Like,
no,
those are words, give her actions. But what are you going to do? Yeah. Like, that's to me, the weird part is like, it is kind of culty. I mean, it was so, and then just all those like shirtless guys mugging for the camera.
I know. They're all like sweating on each other. I just imagine what that would smell like. And then whatever words came out of his mouth, I could not receive because the stench of all these men hot in the burning sun desert. I don't know where they were.
Yeah, I think it was a beach because it's really hard to find the full video. Like when it's first circulated, there's scenes of them like running and charging. And this was like a warrior video. They were like calling themselves warriors and like, it was kind of this call to action for men to step up and like be better men, which we're here for that. But this is so weird. And when you find out what it's on the heels of and like, you'll kind of really feel like this. I mean, this would be the last thing, in my opinion, a woman who's been in a relationship with Louis would want to receive if she has broken it off.
Got it.
Understood. Okay. Like maybe this is like a very sad version of the 80s movie Radio.
Say Anything?
Yes.
Okay.
Right at the window. Like we love that. We don't love this. Okay. So his relationship with Vanessa and then engagement to Teresa is a big, messy part of today's episode. But before we get into the love bubble of it all, let's take a look at Louis's work resume, because that's always interesting to do on these shows with these kinds of men. Except, well, I'll let you guys decide. If you asked Louis what he does, if you listened kind of early on when he kind of started becoming on the radar of Bravo, early on, he would say things like, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm an investor. And those are always very great, vague terms for like fill in the blank. But when finally pressed by Andy at the BravoCon in 2023, he was more specific and he said, quote, I monetize social media traffic, so I manage my clients' ability to create customers online, which just means he helps business get clicks. And that's a legal thing to do. It also is what Jen Shaw did. But
I was going to say, isn't this very Jen Shaw coded?
It is very Jen Shaw coded, but it doesn't actually mean, it doesn't have to be fraudulent or shady. There is a world in which that is perfectly legal and above board. There's regulations around it. And if you follow those, there is no issue. Unfortunately, the company Louis is attached to does have multiple lawsuits and allegations against them for harassing clients and other accusations, the largest of which is reaching out and pursuing people who are on do not call lists. Remember when there was that big movement of like, take me off your list? I just remember my mom being like, not interested and take me off your list. Well, they really are supposed to do that. And then that gets put in some database. And like, you're really not supposed to reach out to those people. Apparently their company is notorious for like aggressively harassing that list specifically.
Oh, wow.
And they have multiple lawsuits about it. If you go to his LinkedIn profile, which I of course did, he's listed as the CEO and co-founder of Interactive Marketing Solutions from 2000 to 2012. And I'm going to give it to him, like maybe in 2000, Interactive Marketing Solutions was really just dynamic and cutting edge because it sounds so, I mean, it's interactive, Melissa. It wasn't just static or not moving. Right. So I'd read you the description of the company, but your eyes will roll out of your head with boredom, and it's Sunday morning, and I know I need to keep your attention, Melissa. So we'll just leave it at it's a generic corporate name. And why does that always feel like it's a front for something else? Doesn't it?
All the time. And especially for Bravo. Especially for Bravo.
Like, there's no ever any like flair, design, or intrigue, because then I think they'll feel like they'll be noticed. It's like, give me like
keep it real.
Yeah, basic. And it's like, how about Pink Poodle Marketing Solutions? We'll never see it.
What's her face from Real Housewives of Dallas? Cameron? Cameron with the pink, pretty
kitty.
Pretty kitty. No.
Sparkly kitty. It's like Sparkle Food. It's like
Sparkle Dog.
Is it Sparkle Dog?
I think it's Sparkle Dog.
Well, see, she's got nothing to hide. I trust that. I trust her company.
She has a lot to hide, but not the food company.
Her business, I think, is transparent and probably on the up and up.
Maybe.
No, I'll stake my career on. No, just kidding. I will never do that, if anything, if I've learned anything. Okay, so that gig ended in 2012. And the next thing on his profile is he's listed as the co-founder of another groundbreaking industry-defying company called Digital Media Services.
DMS.
Right.com. So again, he's listed as co-founder on his profile, but if you go to digitalmediasolutions.com, which I did, he isn't listed anywhere on the site under team, leadership, or about, but the other co-founder is. I'd like to know why. I will not be answering that in this episode because I didn't find out. If anybody knows, please write in. So DMS, as you so aptly said, is a digital marketing company, and there have been multiple allegations against this company for misleading advertising practices. Many of the lawsuits say that they send unsolicited text messages to people who are on do not call lists, again, and that they engage in deceptive marketing. But there's not a ton of information. I think they're like civil, private lawsuits. Frankly, they're not that interesting. However, this self-written bio, I assume, is very interesting, and I think speaks more to the heart and vision of this serial entrepreneur on his LinkedIn. Okay. With having over 25 years experience with the digital response marketing industry, I have perfected the ability to effectively increase revenue with whomever I work with while maintaining a strong sense of integrity, an honorable work ethic, and a witty sense of humor. So this is a new sentence starting with providing. Please listen closely. Providing outstanding results along with building long-lasting relationships with those I do business with has been two major driving factors for my success. I have always been a team-minded leader who excels in providing the most motivational and strategic planning skills that are needed to succeed within this industry. I love meeting new people in the industry and finding different opportunities for which we can create and invent business together.
I loved your rendition of him. That was amazing. It became some version of somebody from...
It was not Louis.
Everybody Loves Raymond, like maybe the older brother.
Yeah, that was in there for sure. I am in Queens after all.
But it was good. I don't know what he does.
No.
I know that he does a lot of words, and he used the word whomever. Like
Thank you.
Yeah. My son the other day, he was nervous about something, and I said, "Oh, do you want to say a prayer?" And he said, "Yeah." And so I say a prayer, and at the end, he says, Mom, when you say prayers, you should be more proper and you should say whomever instead of whoever. And I said, I don't think that's how it works, but I don't know. Louis might have it.
No, your son is right.
Proper.
Louis is wrong. He used whomever to sound smarter than he is. And with all those kind of big words, Melissa, when he wrote, those I do business with has been 2 major driving factors. It's the number 2, like on his LinkedIn profile. Amazing.
So I love that now he knows that you've searched LinkedIn because LinkedIn,
I'm in private mode. I'm in private mode.
Oh,
he will
I was
never
like,
know.
Bodito's on
No. Oh yeah,
Okay.
the Bodito. Just wait. So my favorite actual part is the last sentence, which is for which we can create and invent business together. I think business already exists, Louis. Like, invent business.
Doesn't it sound like he's about to bust out into a Hamilton song from there, though, that sentence?
It like Hamilton meets like a Ken song from like, what did you say last week? Oh, Ethan, his job is car. Louis is invent business. Inventing businesses really does seem to be his bread and butter. And I think we should start with one of Louis' business deals. I mean, the things I've mentioned, they're boring. This one, the stakes are high, and I think potentially the largest impact on all of society. Of course, I'm talking about No-No's pizza ovens. Forget the Pizzagate of 2016 that divided our country and helped bolster extreme conspiracy theorist nut jobs. Joe Gorga and Teresa and Louis' now defunct pizza brand is the Pizzagate that really matters and the only one I care about. I'm going to tell you all about it after a quick break from this week's sponsor.
Have you ever had that moment when you're leaving the house and you wonder, did I lock the door? Or worse yet, you start spiraling and you imagine all the what ifs. I used to feel that way all the time, but it wasn't until a few years ago when I heard about a break-in just a few blocks away that I realized I needed to really step up my home security game. And now I can spiral about the what ifs on things that don't matter, like reality stars, instead of the what ifs of home security. We've had SimpliSafe protecting our house for the last few years now, and it's a total game changer. With SimpliSafe's Fast Protect monitoring, I know within 5 seconds if something's actually up, and the lifeguards can actually speak to intruders to stop them. That's faster than a reality TV star can throw a drink. One of the things I really love the most is you're not locked into some over-the-top 90-day fiancé level contract drama. SimpliSafe is actually affordable as well, less than $1 a day with no hidden fees, so it's easy to love. It's no wonder they've been named Best Home Security Systems by U.S. News and World Report for 5 years running. Whether you want to install it yourself, it really takes less than an hour, or have a professional handle it, SimpliSafe is as easy as flipping channels between Chimp Crazy and The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. So why wait for the drama to happen? Get SimpliSafe and know your home is covered just like I did. Protect your home with 50% off a new SimpliSafe system, plus a free indoor security camera when you sign up for Fast Protect monitoring. Just visit simplysafe.com/criminality. That's simplysafe.com/criminality. There's no safe like SimpliSafe.
Are you struggling to close deals? Cold outreach is wasting the time of both the buyer and seller at every stage, especially when sellers are using shallow and outdated data. Your organization can overcome these challenges with technology that translates comprehensive, high-quality buyer data into real-time insights. These deeper insights empower sales reps and teams to adopt the habits of top performers, which leads to better outcomes, like more pipeline, higher win rates, and larger deals. We call this deep sales. And we've built the first deep sales platform with the next generation of LinkedIn Sales Navigator. Right now, you can try LinkedIn Sales Navigator and get a 60-day free trial at linkedin.com/trial. That's linkedin.com/trial for a 60-day free trial. Let LinkedIn Sales Navigator help you sell like a superstar today. Just go to linkedin.com/trial and get started.
There are 2 sides to every story, and this one involves Teresa and Joe Gorga, so good luck to you figuring out what actually happened and who's right. But here's how the brother and sister claim it went down. Joe Gorga says he had an idea for a pizza oven. Because of course he did.
I mean, didn't he also have a
pizza restaurant,
a dump truck?
Oh,
and
he had a pizza shop.
Yeah, pizza shop. There's been a lot.
I
think they should do a baby dedication services. That's what they should do. That's what everybody knows him for.
Yeah, well,
christening services.
Well, he's a great officiant now too for for weddings, remember?
Oh, yeah.
That was the big storyline. Okay, so the idea was they would make these pizza ovens and it would honor their late father, national treasure, No-No, hero and icon we love, rest in peace. And he would call it, wait for it, No-No's Pizza Oven. So he pitches it to Louie and Teresa, and he's like, I think this should be like a brother-sister duo. But in terms of the investment, he was pitching to both of them. But he was kind of pitching the marketing and brand as like a Teresa Joe thing. Louie was psyched. Teresa loved it. They wanted in. So this handshake deal, it's family after all. And then it's a little vague what happens next because Joey says his nephew got involved. I don't know which one. And he was helping on the pizza oven production side, comes over to Joe and Melissa's house one day and was like, did you see the boxes they got made for the oven?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And Joe's like, what pizza boxes? I didn't see or approve any boxes. And the nephew's like, yeah, I saw Teresa and the girls having a photo shoot in their kitchen for the company, which they're now calling Skinny Pizza. So as you can imagine, Joe loses his mind. Now, let's go to Teresa's side. She says up to that handshake deal, it all happened the same way. That's how she remembers it. But then to get the company going, she says Louie was the only one who put money in. He put in $250,000. And at that point, Louie asks the lawyer, this was kind of like a thing with Joey, but I put in all this money. So what percentage of ownership should Joe Gorga have? And the lawyer and them decided 5%. So this gets back to Joe, who again loses his mind and said, I want 50%. And then Teresa, he said it was my idea. And Teresa and Louie are like, well, if you want 50%, you got to put in 50%. Now, here's where Joey,
you've called him that now like 2 or 3 times.
That's because I'm working with someone named Joey in another potential podcast.
Yeah.
So I apologize.
Well, it helps because that's kind of like I'm keeping him away from Joe Giudice.
That's true.
Joe.
But
so it's helpful in this.
I am calling him Joey, and it's
You're
Joe.
good.
Okay.
We're following.
Oy. So this is where I think Joe loses me because he could have said, I wish I'd had the opportunity to put in money. You should have told me when the funds were due or what you were doing and given me the opportunity to invest. And instead he's like, oh, you think I don't have $200,000? Because I do. And I would have put it in if I'd known. I'm doing my best Italian work today.
You're doing great. You're doing great. Offensive if I do it, but you're Italian, so you got it.
So, well, you never know by my recitation, but yes, indeed, I am half Italian. So he just gets super offended that as if they were saying, we know you don't have the money, which is not what they were saying. They just kind of removed him from the deal, which was very crappy. But I just think their fuses are so short. All he could hear was like, he thinks I'm poor and I don't have cash. Mm-hmm. So Louie and Teresa say they ate the $250,000 because the whole thing ended up being a loss. So I guess these were not produced and manufactured and went the way of Sonia Morgan's toaster. Ugh. But then I see this.
I'm going to open this present from Teresa. You got me a present.
Yes.
Why'd you get me a present? That's so nice of you. Wow. I should be getting you a present.
No.
Yeah, I should. Oh my gosh.
By the way, your house is gorgeous. Oh, thank you. You guys did a good job. That house is
Oh my God.
really nice.
Oh, it's a skinny Italian pizza oven. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I mean, this is amazing.
Looks right here on the top.
It's a skinny Italian pizza oven.
Right here on the side. Shut the
This
front
is
door.
the famous pizza oven.
You can make it at home.
Oh my God, this is amazing. I mean, I'm gonna bring this to my New Hampton's house. I gotta tell you.
And you know what? Send me your address, and I didn't have time today because it was Gia's graduation. Right. I was going to bring you frozen pizzas.
Oh, wow.
So you could put it right in there, and the kids will love them.
Oh, great.
Seriously. So send me your address, and I'll send it to you.
Oh, so you just put the pizza right in there?
Yes.
How long does it take to make?
8 minutes.
No.
Swear to God, you're going to love it. You're going to love it. Yes.
God, that's amazing.
Yes.
Louie, you got a warehouse full of these or what?
Sorry?
You got a warehouse full of these or
yes,
what?
a warehouse
Trying
full
to
of them.
unload them a little bit?
Not even trying.
If
I mean,
you
we
want
got a
one-
warehouse full of Fabellinis and a warehouse full of, right?
Well, Fabellini's gone. But
Okay.
yeah, that's sold.
Okay.
But if you want one for your New York house,
Thank
from
you.
Manhattan, I'll send you another one.
Your face is saying a lot.
Teresa's saying she'll send frozen pizzas to his house. Come on.
This is so Teresa. Like the whole thing was so such a bad ending and such a additional riff that she didn't need with her brother and sister-in-law. And then she's like, I think I'll bring one to Andy Cohen.
I want Bethany Frankel to sue the crap out of her with the skinny thing. And I'm not a Bethany fan. I need someone to take this lady off of her high horse.
She
fails upward like no one I've ever seen. She's not likable.
Actually should be her next book. But she's stealing too. That title, that word, that language. Mm-hmm. Tell me, this is what I need to understand. Does Andy Cohen love her or hate her? Tolerate her or adore her? Because I know she's like a cash cow for Bravo.
Sure.
But like when you look at that scene, how do you interpret their dynamic?
I think he tolerates her.
Mm-hmm.
I think he thinks she's a little wackadoo, but she's a moneymaker.
Yeah.
But I don't think he likes her.
I don't think so either, but I do think there's like a little bit of like ASS kissing. Like,
yeah.
And because sometimes his contempt for Housewives just comes through and you're like, oh, he does not like Jennifer Aiden or something. But he has to at least look like he likes Teresa. And I just want to hear him I just want something leaked of him talking about how he really feels about certain housewives. I would pay anything to hear it.
When it was all the controversy, he does drugs with housewives and stuff. I'm like, yeah, know that, but I want to hear what he says when he's on these drugs, please.
Exactly. And those are probably on his better list if he's
Exactly. Oh, real quick.
Yeah.
Why did they change the name to Skinny Italian or Skinny whatever? Wasn't the whole thing it was no?
It's gross. It's really, she's so dumb, first of all, to even put the word skinny anywhere near food.
I know. Yeah.
But I guess, doesn't she have cookbooks that are called Skinny Italian? So maybe she trademarked that. I don't know. But to just eliminate her father and family from it for this family brick oven, it's just so Jersey. I can't.
Yeah. Oh gosh. I don't want to get in a fight with Jersey fans, but I kind of do. Her likable. You do?
I don't know. Maybe.
Oh,
I did not like this season so much, which is a strange choice that I chose to do the story of Louis. But I'm so angry at this season that I'm sure. What could you possibly say to me?
Burn it with fire.
But what could they say to me? They'll eviscerate me. That's why. Okay. So never fear. Pizza ovens gone and over. I don't know if they're really being made or if that was a one-off. But, Louis Ever, the entrepreneur, launches another company just a couple months later called Pet Priority Health Insurance. And on Instagram, he says, we are thrilled to announce phase 1 launch of Pet Priority, a revolutionary pet insurance matching service, blah, blah, blah. Exciting adventure. Put your pet's health first. Can't wait to show you what's in store. We're going to make it happen. Nose to tail. He didn't write this. For sure. Mm-hmm. Never seen anything about it since. That was a year ago, almost to the day. So I think he just hops around, starts things. I don't know if he's independently wealthy from his family or if he actually did make money at these generic marketing services, but he seems to have cash to infuse in things, launch them, and then move along. But the next one, I think, maybe is his real passion and true calling because it's in the psycho spiritual self-help space.
Oh, okay.
Which is really where I think Louis shines.
Psycho. Yeah, I got it.
This one's called Men of Legacy, and it's really adjacent to the Warrior video. But we heard about it through Teresa, and that could not be a mistake because she's dumb. Sorry, I've said that so many times. But I don't think he is, and I think that's why we all need to be afraid.
Ooh, okay.
Teresa shared news of this launch saying, quote, Louis, my husband, and my stepson, Louis Jr., they're starting a new company called Men of Legacy. They're going to be helping fathers and sons that don't have a good relationship to have a better relationship. That was terrible. That's the end of the quote. So
that was the end of the quote. Okay, that was wonderful. Are you kidding me? I was just waiting. I wanted to hold my breath until it was over.
I didn't really catch her essence, but I'm comparing myself to Ronnie and Ben, so why am I even bothering?
Yeah.
So this new online community has an Instagram if you want to join men_of_legacy. And it's just all reels of Louis and his son Louis Jr. reading mini messages about integrity, growth, and most importantly, the 3 A's. Awareness, acknowledgement, action. another clip.
High value man, it's important to have a set of values in your life. I utilize the 3 A's. Awareness, acknowledgement, and action. Be aware of the problem that's at hand, acknowledge the problem that's at hand, and take action on that problem.
That did not help me at all. Maybe I'm not a man of legacy. I guess this is not marketed towards me.
Yeah, you're not the dummy.
But no.
Like, yes, we love 3 quick points, but you didn't do anything but say the 3 things.
And one of them was just to acknowledge that you said the first thing.
I know. And then I feel like this is it's in tandem with that Warrior video because they're like, those are just words. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? And so it's all like about action, but like he doesn't illuminate anything. This one, he actually, at least, because I guess it was so short, could like look at the camera. There are so many videos of him reading from a piece of paper, like his own sermon. It's so weird.
I'm going to have to watch more of those because that made me like when I'm just angry and I can't really figure out why I'm angry, I need to just watch those so at least I can direct my rage towards something.
I think that is the healthiest response to this episode.
That's my action.
That's your call to action. Absolutely. And I know we're getting into like a lot of clips, but I just really feel like for maybe some people who don't know Louis' voice and MO, it's important to like create this context.
So important.
And I know the next clip you've seen because you sent it to me. And I don't know if you knew I was doing Louis then. It was right after I'd done the clues and you just happened to send me this clip. But in case listeners missed it, this is Louis, the very new stepfather to 4 daughters. And now, in addition to being a guru for broken fathers and sons, he's also a reigning authority on women's liberation. Please take a listen.
Wear a short skirt, show your legs off a little bit because they're the most proper girls I've ever met. But it's like, experience it now to take risk. Like we went to Greece last year. You know what you told your daughters? Wear a thong.
Yeah.
Do it now. Because I didn't do it when I was young.
Yes.
Do it now. Experience it now. And then when they came out with thongs, you're like, cool, you guys look fucking amazing.
Oh my God, they look so good.
Melissa.
Yeah. And Teresa's just there wagging her head, just like agreeing with everything he's saying.
She's
but like,
squealing in agreement. Like, she should be so afraid.
Yeah, I'm not saying he means anything inappropriate by it, but it sounds incredibly inappropriate. And I don't care who you are to say that about somebody else's daughters. You don't do that.
No, I'm going to like take a leap. You're being pretty diplomatic. If his 3 A's are awareness, like you should have the awareness that even if the spirit of what you're saying is like they should be free, independent to do what they want because they're still young and they're not like they have their whole life to kind of be whatever in a serious relationship. Yeah. And I think we all understand what he meant, but he should have the awareness to know how it sounds to be coming in as a stepfather figure and just saying the word thong in relation to his teenage and early 20s stepdaughters.
Yeah.
It's just not okay.
No, I saw where Juicy Joe commented on that video. They were like, what do you think of this? He said, Louis is a weird guy. And so I don't think he didn't mean for it to come out that way, which I was like, if Juicy Joe can be okay with this, I guess I shouldn't be enraged by this man.
Well,
but Juicy Joe also called his wife, I think,
see you next Tuesday.
Yeah. Oh, a see you next Tuesday. That's what it was.
Yeah.
A see you next Tuesday.
And I think also a Dumby.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. So anyway, it's. Ooh.
You bring up something great that I think I get into later, but let me just say now.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's perfect. It's like when we will never victim blame. When I think like, why Teresa? Like, why this guy? And I think of who she was married to. Like, love bombing looks amazing when your last partner was, practically verbally abusive. Also, how bad is Louis if we're kind of like looking to Joe for some like
true
insight and like better perspective on something? Like, I feel like we all need to have our brains scrubbed. It's so confusing.
Yeah.
But I think Teresa just wanted to feel loved and affirmed. And I think Louis does give her that in a very like surface shallow way.
Right.
And she thinks it's deeper. Okay. So that clip that you just listened to was from their podcast that they co-host together called Turning the Tables, which is just, like him just capitalizing on her like previous stuff and getting in on it. It all just makes my skin crawl.
And didn't she had a different co-host before, right?
Correct. Melissa Feaster. That's a whole, we were going to do 2 parts. That would be part 2. I couldn't get into the Melissa Feaster of it all. Something bad went down with Teresa and Melissa. And the rumor is that Louis at the heart of it, and that there was some kind of disagreement, and that he was screaming at her. And someone has the receipts. I didn't find them. There's audio of it or something. But now Melissa's terrified and will just kind of be like, we moved on. But they were like really tight. Like she was all about Melissa. Yeah. It was like her new Melissa. But apparently, allegedly, Louis blew that up. And so now they are co-hosting.
Got it. Okay.
With audio gems like the one you just heard. So that clip was seen on TikTok or heard on TikTok. And I think that's a great time to remind you and warn you, maybe, Melissa, that you should really keep your eye on TikTok. Make sure it's okay. Because Louis launching he did launch his next company, of course, called Vinivia, not Vinavia. I had no idea how to pronounce it until I heard him say, I still don't. Vinivia, Vinivia. It's a live streaming platform. And according to Louis, it's going to take over TikTok.
I will never send you a Vinivia. I will never send you one. Ever.
And for that, I thank you. They're out to dinner in LA, which also just like, this guy wants to be seen.
Yeah.
See and be seen. So TMZ sees them. And Louis shows off the car he's driving, which is covered, like wrapped in advertisements for this new company, Vinavia, which according to the website says it's a live streaming platform, quote, like never before, that combines, quote, cutting edge technology and continues innovation with a creator centric approach. And Louis says to TMZ, it's created solely for creators and influencers around the world. That's what I do for a living, which feels like an updated redo version of the like, what does Louis do? I don't think he was satisfied with that, like social media for my clients. Clicks.
Yeah.
He's like, this live streaming platform that's being launched is solely for creators and influencers around the world. I think he's like, this is who I am.
Yeah, this is who I am.
And who he wants to be, right? He wants to be an influencer.
It's giving Peter Madrigal, or however you say Madrigal, who's
that?
Peter from Sup Restaurant, or Sir and all that.
Oh, Peter.
How he like has his own channel now, or his own streaming.
Good call.
Bachelor version. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not okay. No one's going to see it.
And there's like a creep element. That's really good. So Vinavia seems to be what he's going all in on. And they had this extravagant launch party. I don't know if you heard about this, but there was a big problem because the event planner who put together this event, her name is Lorianne Cerna, has spoken out, and her party loved this name. Now, here is a business name. She has a really great event planning company. It's called Wife of the Party. And like, she's the woman in charge, and she does these. So Wife of the Party founder wrote on her Instagram. So the launch happens, and all Louis is doing is promoting Vinivia now. And she says, Louis Ruelas, how do we get paid? And the post features, and it's in her feed, it features Teresa, a couple of her daughters, Gia's boyfriend, and one of Louis and one of his sons. Lorianne goes on in multiple posts saying she's being silenced and told to have grace and patience for payment, to which she replied, it's been 60 days and a lot of excuses. Have grace while owed what some people pay for a home? I'm sick of shutting up. The figure in question is $300,000.
What?
So, and she goes on, and she has receipts and emails, and every item in the party was approved by Louis and his team. No expense spared, a $300,000 party, and she can't pay anyone who contributed their services or herself because Louis and his team will not pay up.
Have grace? Are you kidding
Have grace
me?
and patience. This is what kills me, is this man who like espouses integrity and all of this, saying things like have grace when it's a business transaction where it's just like you owe money. That's not even like part of the conversation. This isn't like a have grace, I don't know, my co-founder, my business went under or something. Like, it's just he doesn't want to pay.
Yeah. Have grace and don't wear no-nos pants around your daughters, your stepdaughters.
I can't believe we haven't even talked about that. Like, have grace and I have to buy new pajamas, like,
There you go.
We're going to talk about his shirts. Okay. So it would appear that Louis jumps from venture to venture. He moves quickly and he seems to just leave chaos in his wake. And this really flies in the face of this namaste family reconciliation thing that he tried to do in the beginning. He wanted to come onto the show as like the healer between Joe and Melissa and Teresa. And like, it just, everything he's done has like, what's the word with the wedge? Like
put a wedge
between expanded the wedge, like made the wedge bigger. I don't know what I'm saying. And here's just the worst thing is I'm going to say it again. I don't think Teresa's smart enough to see it. I think everyone else can. And I don't even think she's like choosing not to. I just don't think she can actually process that he's doing this. Your thoughts?
I don't think that she can see how if it harms somebody else and doesn't harm her, it's fine.
That's exactly right.
She cannot at all see. Like if I see somebody treating my friend bad, I'm going to take a step back from that person because they're obviously not a great person.
Right.
But for her, if they're not directly doing it to her, nothing's wrong with
That's
them.
exactly. That's right.
Makes me crazy.
Makes me crazy. And he does like the penultimate sin on Real Housewives of New Jersey, which is involving the kids. That's a big no-no. And we learned that on the recent season, he hires Frankie Jr. for the real estate thing. And, you know, Dolores is like at a reunion. Andy said, "What's Frankie Jr. up to?" And she's like, "He's working for Louis. He's making a lot of money. He's killing it." So he's in real estate. But we learned that Frankie no longer works for Louis, but nobody talks about it, right? And then at the next reunion, we see a previously unseen clip where Frankie Jr. tells Frank Sr. that one day he showed up to work at this property that the company owned, but the landlord was there and is like, "No, you're no longer the owners of this. You have to get out." And Frankie's like, "They closed the company down. What do I do?"
Oh my
And he said,
gosh.
"I've been calling Louis and he won't respond." So it's like, I think when America saw this happen to Frankie Jr., that's when the uprising really came up to like the surface and was like, "Oh no, not Frankie Jr." And people are even speculating that Dolores is afraid of Louis and Dolores is afraid of no one. But up to the last Off the Rails episode, she's kind of like implying that she knows stuff and she's choosing not to say it. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, but why isn't she? Because I think she is just such a like truth-oriented straight shooter.
I wonder if it has something to do with Frank Sr. because she always feels very protective of him.
That's true.
And
that's a good point.
Wasn't he like a lawyer and he got in trouble
disbarred.
and like
yeah.
So I wonder if it was like something
he did something bad too.
And so
you're right.
Like mutual.
She would put her family's.
She'd put their family first.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. He also, this is Louis again, called Margaret's son at work to do the dirty work of like getting more information. So he's acting just like a housewife, but he's like more vindictive and scary. Mm-hmm. And like you said, you asked what I first thought. I think he made a decent first impression, but it became so clear that he was just love bombing Teresa. And then when people got concerned, he took the evolved, peaceful approach and called the notorious private investigator, Bo Dietl, to essentially blackmail the cast into silence, claiming that they had secrets on all of them. So I can't get into all of that. You'd have to watch the last few seasons of The Real Housewives of New Jersey, if you guys haven't, to watch all this play out. But it is like, it's unfolding like a bad Lifetime movie that doesn't end well. And I am no fan of Teresa, but I just really want her to run. I think it's a matter of time before this is like really, really bad. Mm-hmm. And I want to get to the Vanessa of it all because it kind of comes full circle with her. But you mentioned what Louis wears, and I just want to talk about his T-shirts for a minute because they're really cool. I mean, one has a bold, powerful word. It's transcend.
Oh,
right.
Ben has been riled up over him wearing this transcend shirt on Watch What Crappens.
Okay, well, that's one. Warrior's another, and we know that's on brand. Oh. This one was a puzzler, a little bit of a head scratcher. Free man. Just free and man. But I think my favorite, Melissa, and if he sells these, I would get one, is Forgivity.
What?
Forgivity. Forgivity. I ended up looking into it. So his sister is an eye doctor, but kind of also in the like self-help space now. And she has a program called Forgivity.
No.
It's about like family reconciliation and healing. But my computer browser wouldn't let me open the website. Like it kept bringing up all those like, this is not safe. This is not private.
Yeah.
Like, so I was like, I'm not going to go any further. But I caught some videos of her promoting Forgivity. And now I'm just convinced
take it seriously.
Louis and his whole family, this is all like a strategic thing to like use Teresa's fame to
Allegedly.
promote allegedly, Forgivity, Men of Legacy, Vanivia, etc.
Doesn't Forgivity sound like No Diggity?
Yes,
That's
it does.
what I keep thinking.
You got to bag
An
it up.
updated song.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I like it when you work it. I like it when you forgive me. Okay. So this is all coming back now to the woman in the white dress running across New York State to tell as many people as will listen, because this is really what she was doing without saying his name. Louis Ruelas is dangerous. That was the point. And she wanted it to coincide with when we were all meeting him. And here is why. But first, a little bit about her. She is an actually very successful therapist licensed to work in New York, New Jersey, and Massachusetts. She's featured in Psychology Today, U.S. News and World Report, like Best Doctors. She's trained in multiple modalities, including dialectic behavioral therapy, cognitive processing therapy, cognitive behavioral therapy, my personal favorite. And then this, Melissa, she also spent years in New York City serving as a high school counselor at public high schools in the city, including my daughter's.
Really?
Which I'm not going to name the high school, but yes. I didn't go into like what years. I don't know. But I just was like, I just saw this name and I'm like, no way. Anyway, I thought that was wild. When Vanessa went public with this run and this fundraiser, she never said his name. Like I said, she was just promoting this kind of cause. She's way too smart to say his name. She let the internet figure that out for her and share it to the world. So here's what we know of Vanessa and Louis' tumultuous relationship, perhaps one of the worst we've encountered here in Criminality. I mean, maybe. It's really something. So they only dated from 2018 to 2020, which means now that the length of time they've been fighting following their breakup is longer than when they were actually together. And Vanessa files for a restraining order against Louis, citing concern for her safety because of controlling and abusive behavior during their relationship, and also for something that happened quite a bit after their split. This is the part that just blows my mind. The allegation is that Louis hired Bo Dietl. So everything Bo Dietl did with the cast of New Jersey was kind of like secondary to, I think, what allegedly, from my research, if I were to give an opinion, his primary reason of having Bo Dietl was to go after Vanessa, to silence her, because she's ruining everything he's trying to do over here with Teresa, right? So Bo Dietl uses his investigation company, takes one of his employees, whose real name is Elaine Boxer, has her go undercover as Alana Berkelhammer to pose as a patient of Vanessa Reiser's. So she shows up to therapy, and then it gets weird because she's asking questions about Vanessa's relationship with Louis and like specific questions.
Terrifying.
And so Vanessa freaks out and like brings this suit and says, I need a protective order against this guy and everyone he's working with because she's coming to my place of work. Now, we know for a fact Bo Dietl hired that associate to act as a plant because Louis admits it in open court at a future hearing between them. He had to basically cop to that to get what he wanted in a reverse suit. So it happened. However, the case was dismissed and the judge said that Vanessa seems to be obsessed with Louis and says like there's no reason for her to be concerned for her safety.
Did Bo Dietl hire the judge?
That's a great question. The judge was Bo Dietl with like a mustache and glasses. He was like, all rise. So this is how Vanessa's lawyer responds. And I really think I love this. Quote, the court was correct in its findings that my client and I were obsessed with finding out the truth. The truth, which we now know is 100% fact, is that Louis Ruelas and his attorney, James Leonard, by Louis' own sworn testimony admission in court, hired Bo Dietl's firm to spy on my client, which they did twice over 2 years. Covert agent EB, that's the initials of the woman, is still being criminally prosecuted by the state of New Jersey for her alleged illegal contact and having lied to obtain services she is alleged not to have paid for. End quote. I like how he kind of was like, yeah, we were obsessed with finding out the truth. Mm-hmm. Like, and look, there is some opinion out in the world that Vanessa is kind of obsessed with bringing Louis down. And you can look at that one of two ways, that she wants to promote her services in her business and her online profile. She has a business called teletherapist.com or something where it's like I don't know. I couldn't get into it all, but that's like maybe
I can't
like
know everything.
I can't do everything, people. I can't carry the weight of New Jersey on my shoulders, these small shoulders. That's the not generous way to look at it. Or is she actually just like, people, this guy is scary and he's about to be embraced potentially by America or the women on that show.
Right.
Maybe she could have just let him like have his undoing in public. So
sure.
I'm just saying there are things to be said that she hasn't done everything perfectly and not everybody believes everything she's saying.
Okay.
I just want to put that out there. So Louis was not satisfied with this vindication. Again, it's like when I said Joe Gorga could have responded one of two ways with that whole pizza thing. I feel like you just stand down, be quiet, you won, let that be out in the press. But instead, he sues her for $5 million for slander, shaking away, ruining business opportunities, like all that he had to endure. So he does this $5 million lawsuit against her to basically salvage his reputation, which he says is, destroyed beyond measure or whatever. Outcome unclear, might still be in play. But in the middle of that, Vanessa and her lawyers claim that they now have evidence that Louis' lawyer and Bodito hacked into Vanessa's legal team's computers to get information about her. So not Vanessa, but her lawyers sue Bodito for allegedly hacking computers to harass and abuse Vanessa Reiser. Court documents reveal that Louis Dietl and a group of lawyers accessed sensitive information illegally to gather dirt on Vanessa and make public. The lawsuit filed by the New York-based attorneys accuses the defendants of acting with criminal, reckless, malicious, fraudulent intent, using these tactics to cover up their own wrongdoing. The suit also claims that they took private and professional files in the process.
Oh my gosh.
And there's some language around this, which I don't know why is in my notes, but like subterfuge, the word was in that. And I was like,
oh, never knew.
What?
No, don't. Put that on a shirt. I won't wear that.
Subterfuge. And it's like really serious because those are federal charges because it's like internet related and like hacking, stealing online.
That's crazy.
So bad. I mean, I think all around in Jersey, one thing we know allegedly is that people play dirty, including the professionals you hire to win things legally in the court of law, break rules a lot. And I'm not saying it only happens in New Jersey. I'm just saying we've seen it with frequency on New Jersey.
Right.
So that's basically where we are present day is this most recent one where Louis is being sued by Vanessa's lawyers and Bo Dietl are being sued. And that takes us to the end of the most current season where Teresa, do you remember when she has this big sit down in her home with her lawyer and Gia's there and she has them all over and it's like this big, huge bomb's about to drop.
Right.
Let's listen.
Obviously, I'm going through this, Louis and I, and not that you guys have to feel bad for me.
We do.
But I've been dealing with this. We're talking about Margaret here. Never thought this would happen to me. There's a legal case going on.
Right. We need it to make sense because you've been alluding to something for the past few months and we're only getting bits and pieces. And because you're so emotional, like, I want Jim to talk because, like, I think your mind, you're spinning, babe.
So first of all, I have been involved with Teresa and her family for 9 years. I was involved with her in the weeks and months before she went to prison. And I can say that walking her into prison at 3 o'clock in the morning, she was less stressed than she has been for the last several months. So to bring it to why we're here today. So there is someone in Louis' past that makes problems in Louis' existing life.
The ex?
We're gonna not really talk about her because of legal problems, but that person is real and that situation exists and existed before Teresa and Louis ever met one another. In November of 2021, the lawyer that's representing Louis subpoenas Margaret to come to court to answer questions as to whether or not Margaret is in communication with this person. Margaret responds that she got the subpoena and that she wasn't going to come to court. And I'm going to just get to the pertinent part. The individual that Louis is involved in the litigation with had been speaking with Margaret Josephs, and Josephs told this person she was planning to expose Louis Ruelas and Teresa Giudice based on the information that this person had provided.
So now, guys, I just want to tell you, this will make your head spin. Louis is not allowed to speak about her. She's not allowed to speak about him. So she gets out her information through Margaret.
This is true. How's that any different than what Margaret did?
Who is that guy with the beard, though?
I have no idea.
He looks creepy.
Yeah, I know. Hi.
Teresa.
Yeah.
These are yours, kid.
From who?
Oh, the gift? That looks like something from a funeral, though. Somebody passed?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. Oh, she's so disgusting. It's from Marge. No, I don't want it. Refuse it.
Thoughts?
So I will say, prior to hearing your episode this week, I did not understand a single thing that was going on. This makes way more sense, but also makes no sense. I get why Teresa's so scared, because the lady probably allegedly has a lot of things that she can say. And so, of course, Teresa's worried because she may at this point know who she's dealing with as far as her husband.
Exactly. And also, first of all, I feel the same way you do. I'm like, oh, I know a lot more, and yet I somehow still feel confused. That's kind of the nature of New Jersey, though, in general, not just the show. To hear the lawyers say she's more distraught right now than the day she went to jail, I'm like, dude, this guy Louis has done a number on her.
Yeah.
Like, to put that in perspective actually was like, yikes.
That was the probably the most, that's where I was like, oh, she knows this is whatever information this lady has is not good.
Yeah. And then, of course, when everything went off the rails at Rails, we learn they've basically all been contacted by that woman. And then Jackie, of course, was like Judas, like the ultimate betrayal, was like, you know, that was amazing to watch. Do you remember?
When she
the
said,
denial
yes.
and then the admission?
She's like, I would never do it. Actually, yeah, I did.
I sat down with her. Oh, I sat down in person with her. Yeah, amazing.
I just wanted information in my pocket, which I'm like, oh, I could never deal with these people. That is all too stressful for me.
No, my brain just doesn't even like work like that, which I guess right now I'll be grateful for. Maybe I need more of it. But there's a million more angles, weird video. I mean, look, just put Louis weird video into your Google search bar and you'll have 2 days of content to get through. He constantly is posting videos of him crying, lying about businesses he may or may not be attached to, like Ruelas. Do you remember that one? The fashion store Ruelas. He was like in a parking lot, like with Ruelas right behind me, spelled RUELALA, and I'm Ruelas, like not a coincidence. And then, but he was implying that it got sold and that he was a part of that company, and like people have like completely debunked any involvement. But he's like, I made $500 million today and I don't feel anything in my body. His words. It was all in the same video. But then he's like gesturing with his arms up that he doesn't feel anything. But his t-shirt was soaked with sweat. And I'm like, well, you feel something. Yeah. You have to feel sweat. Yeah. He really, truly scares me. I feel like we're watching a red flag rolled around a ticking time bomb in slow motion. And this is weird. I'm going to close it with unexpected, straightforward words of wisdom from someone I did not see it coming.
No. Oh, no.
Who are you afraid it is?
Joe Gorga is who I'm thinking.
Close.
Oh, okay. Even better. Okay.
Close. Melissa. In a confessional, she said, sometimes I think it's the guy he wants to be, but then there's the guy he really is. I know it's not deep, but it's like, I think he is in constant conflict with who he really is and who he wants to not be, but like show people he is, or try to be, or hoodwink people into what he wants them to think he is.
Right.
And that is what we watch in that purple face. I'm sorry. Like, the body keeps the score. And like, if you are constantly lying and cheating, but saying transcend and healing and like, I have Buddha in my backyard, so trust me, you're gonna be in stress. And clearly his heart and circulation are not okay. And I think I've not been meaner than on this episode. Apologies, I don't know what's happening.
I enjoy passing that baton to you because I am normally quite mean. This guy is the worst. I don't get him. This is like him with the Ruelas, is like me going up and ordering Melissa's cupcakes and being like, hey guys, made $500 million today.
Melissa's
I don't
cupcakes.
feel anything but a sugar high.
Coincidence?
Heard of it?
Yeah, I think not.
I mean, I'm also not thinking it's the worst idea based on how successful he's apparently fake been.
Right. Well, he also doesn't come out and say like, I'm part owner. Like, he's so vague. He implies things so that he can walk them back if he gets accused, right? Like,
right.
Ugh.
I'm so perplexed by him. Why did he go to the warrior thing? Did they break up and he's like, this is how I'm going to get her back. She wants to be married, so I'm doing this? Or like a love bombing type of thing where he's just like, I would do this for you.
I don't know. I don't know if it...
And we don't know.
I don't know. I don't know if that answer is out there or not. I think in either scenario, it's bizarre.
Yeah.
But I really don't know what the motivation was. If it was kind of like driven by her or him.
Right.
I do think they're both in like I do think they're like self-help guru type of people. So maybe he did think that would be effective towards her. And then I think he knows with Teresa, like love bombing will work.
Right.
Because she was so starved for love for so long, being married to, someone who really did not have her best interest in mind. So all this to say, we know, or I think it's been confirmed that the whole cast of New Jersey is changing and only Dolores and Teresa will remain.
Not Teresa. Get rid of her. I don't want her.
Why does Bravo? Yeah, they really, whatever, horses and wagons and hitching with Teresa, however it goes.
Yeah.
But that by default means Louis. And I don't know why they want any connection to this guy other than I guess it like does maybe raise viewership. But I just think this is a bad look and that this guy's going to be like the next fill in the blank.
Yeah, Dolores needs to go in on him. That's what we need.
That would be worth keeping them both on because there could come a time where she's sick of protecting Louis and Teresa, and man, would I want to see that. But I think everyone else is gone. Did you hear that too?
Confirmed? I heard that they're
cleaning house.
They're making changes. Yeah.
But I'm surprised they're letting Jen Aiden go. As far as I'm concerned, Rachel and Danielle, like they had their 2 chances and like goodbye.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. That's so wild and And just like if Bo Dietl is listening, this has been hosted by Rebekah De Mornay and Melissa Joan Hart, and that's who you can take this up with.
Oh my God. This is my second chapter career as a podcaster after success in like early 90s and 2000s thriller movies.
You look great.
Thank you. Thank you. Likewise. I appreciate you explaining it all. Wink. So let's move on. I mean, gross, right? We need showers. I want to know what you've been watching, and I really do because I really need something.
Okay. Well, I have been watching Love is Blind UK. Thank you, Rebekah.
You're welcome.
I'm on the 7th episode, and I love it.
Is it the best one yet, do you think? Like I do?
I'm enjoying it the most, probably.
Yeah.
Like, and because all the women were more supportive, I felt like in the, I didn't realize how much it, like I would always tell you, I don't love the lovey, like,
I know
all that. But I don't like the women going after each other either. So like this to me has been a really nice, I don't know. I'm really enjoying it.
They're decent people. Like everyone but one is like very decent. And we had to have one. Like it's a show.
Of course.
But the way the men and the women kind of like are there for one another, I find really
so far
lovely.
Good. Yeah.
Okay.
And of course they could hoodwink us. They do it all the time. Okay. So my 3 clues are Netflix, pregnancy, California.
Okay.
Fishing boat. I'll give you a 4th one.
Fishing boat. Hold on.
Missing on Christmas Eve.
Oh, okay. Okay. Melissa. I was thinking like reality, but not like a docuseries. Okay. The new Scott Peterson.
Yes. The new American Murder, Lacy Peterson.
Tell me everything.
I really enjoyed it. It was mostly, Lacy's friends who I don't remember ever hearing from.
No, neither.
Amber Fry is in there, which I think so much credit goes to her, because who knows what would have happened had she not stepped forward.
Yep.
And then Lacy's mom was on there. And I thought there's been so much talk about he could be innocent, blah, 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 and this and this. And they talk about those break-ins that happen near, which is what people
always
go
cling
with on
to.
this. Mm-hmm. So this was really nice. There are innocent people in jail for sure. I don't think Scott Peterson is one of them. And so I enjoyed watching it to be like, okay, they got it right. And they talked to some jurors who were like, doing this was the hardest thing ever, like putting somebody on death row, all that. So anyway, if you are interested in the case, I learned some stuff I didn't know before.
Wow.
And I mean, not like a ton, but like I just thought they did a good job of it. And it was nice to hear from Lacy's mom.
I'll definitely watch, because
20 years out. Yeah.
It's been 20 years. Do they talk about his involvement, like with the Innocence Project California? Like, are they still active with working on it? Or
I have like 15 minutes left. So they talk to his sisters and stuff. So they're talking about how, their perspective on things. But I haven't. I'm assuming I'm at the part where it should happen if it's going to.
Okay.
But yeah, there's like 15 minutes.
I'm definitely going to watch that. When a family, his sister's been such an advocate, and I think probably the reason he's even like still being talked about and gets press, and why the Innocence Project California reopened his case. It's just so hard to imagine a person who is guilty maintaining their innocence, and the family. I don't know. I have such a hard time with the whole subject, and like with her never having doubts. I just can't believe it. There's so much doubt in that case.
Yeah. Yeah. I none of it I didn't come out of it thinking like, oh, maybe I was wrong. Maybe not. Like there's some things like maybe he wasn't running to Mexico. Mm-hmm. Maybe he was like hanging out with his family and changing his appearance. Maybe so, I don't know, his girlfriend wouldn't know that he was, on the news or whatever. Yeah. So I can buy that, but I can't buy that he bought a fishing license 2 days before. Nobody knew he had it. But all those things, when you hear it all together, you're like, oh my gosh. Yeah.
Same. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, that's a case I always want to hear some new perspectives on, and her friend and mom sound like something I want to hear.
It was good.
Cool.
Mm-hmm. And hearing his like sisters and stuff, I think it's good to hear
both sides,
all perspectives. But yeah, I want to know what you're watching, because it's got to be better than that. Like, not sad.
No, you're going to be so disappointed in me. Well, all I did last week was like watch OC in Jersey and current housewife stuff, and continued on Love is Blind. I don't have a show to share. I am so embarrassed.
Don't be embarrassed, because I almost came out and said The Real Housewives of OC. I forgot I had watched this.
Yeah.
Rebekah, how about what's your favorite housewife franchise right now? What are you watching? What are you loving?
I'm enjoying OC more than I expected. And it was such a nice juxtaposition to Jersey, which I just think was just like so hard to get through this year. I think Orange County is great right now. I think Alexis or Lexi, was she always calling herself Lexi, or is that new? No, that's new,
when she was pretending to be a news anchor, she was not going by Lexi.
No, she just, she grates on my nerves. But I love seeing Shannon's like post all of everything that happened. I think they're all kind of contributing in their own weird ways. Right. And their weird dynamic works. And I'm liking it.
Yeah. It's wild when you look at New Jersey and then look at OC. As far as like Alexis's husband sued the crap out of Tamra, and they're just sitting there it's no big deal. Like that, people would be rolling in graves right now.
100%.
Like there's just.
Wait, and what does Jen say? Is it Jen? Someone says to Alexis, we're married to and dating people who have both sued Shannon. Am I getting that right? Like that's essentially what they said, which is just like that's crazy. Like you couldn't write that plot in a movie. It would be too stupid. And the fact that they're all just still kind of like hanging out together. Yeah. Except they did have to like split trips, which I thought was actually more fun than I expected. The like going back and forth between La Quinta and Big Bear. And Tamara's stupid house. Also, I love that Tamara's so grossed out and annoyed by Alexis's lovey-doveyness with John, and like she used to be so much like that with Eddie and always like flaunting sex and sexuality.
We'll never forget the hot tub.
No, we will.
We want to.
We'll try.
But we won't. Yeah.
So yeah, I've been really enjoying that. And honestly, I'm just in a real Love is Blind UK love
so
bubble.
great.
Like I really like so many of the couples. And so I haven't been and I haven't finished because it's also been a busy week, which is why I didn't start a new show. So I'm on 9. I'm on the last of the, well, when this comes out, I think by the time this comes out, there'll be the final, wedding episodes. So no spoilers here, but check out Love is Blind UK if you haven't. And definitely I'm going to check out the Lacy Peterson story.
I think you'll enjoy it.
So, tell me what we'll talk about next time.
Okay.
Or give me the clues about what we'll talk about.
I'll give you the clues. Okay. In some ways, this is way too, like, you'll figure it out, or it's going to feel so vague.
Okay.
So here we go. Tracy Jordan, Surrogacy, The View.
Okay. Tracy Jordan is the real person. Tracy Morgan is the...
No, Tracy Morgan's the real person.
Okay, Tracy Jordan
is
the character.
30-year-old character.
Surrogacy, Tracy Jordan, and The View. Okay.
What I knew about this person before like the last year, I thought was not good, and it changed my perspective.
Ooh.
So
I can't wait. I love a random Tracy Jordan drop in. That's super fun.
You know, I do too. I do.
And if this means anything, we'll hear anything having to do with Liz Lemon or Tracy Jordan, then sign me up.
Absolutely.
Yes.
We'll definitely have clips.
And then we'll figure it out from there. Okay. Well, can't wait. This was, I hope, fun.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, he's not fun.
No, I think it's a tragedy in the making, and I hope I'm not right, but I think I am.
But if you are, they're going to pull this clip and play it on the Netflix series.
Like
Rebekah De Mornay, remember.
Be careful what you wish for. But thank you, everybody, for listening. You can follow us on Instagram or Facebook at Criminality Show. You can check out our website at criminalityshow.com, which is updated with recent episodes and things that we have watched that we say in every episode. If you want to go back to like episode 17 and see what we were watching then, I don't know why you would want to, but you can. So, Melissa, till next time.
Yeah. See you in 2 weeks.
See you in 2 weeks. Bye.
Bye.